it's Siobhan. As you can see, it's a super windy day, so just ignore my hair. This week I had a few things planned for this video, but when I was about to go out, it just snowed a ton, and that kind of just ruined the things that I had planned. And then a few days after that, I was feeling a little under the weather, and so all of this is to say that things didn't go according to plan this week. If you're wondering where I am, I'm in a parking lot really close to my house actually. I'm just walking around the neighborhood for this video, but I'm taking shelter near a building so that the audio isn't completely ruined by the wind. But I think there's definitely an opportunity here to just talk about the importance of being adaptable in our world today. I mean, even just the COVID pandemic is a huge recent example of a global catastrophe that just entirely changed the way that we live and shifted everything, and we didn't expect it. And I think these kinds of huge transformative issues are just going to keep on happening. I mean, I hope we don't have any more global catastrophes like pandemics, but with climate change, these types of issues are probably going to keep on arising, and we don't know what we're going to expect in the future. I think I mentioned in another video that I used to work at a summer camp, and at that job, my ability to be adaptable and flexible and kind of just change plans on the fly was so important. I was the nature director at camp, so I had to create the whole nature education curriculum for the summer, which means I had to do lesson plans and think of backup activities to do when the weather wasn't nice and everything like that. But the funny thing about working with nature is that it doesn't always go according to your plans or your backup plans. And so some of the lessons that I had to teach to these kids at camp were nighttime nature activities. And so I remember this so distinctly. My plan for one of the nights was to go look at fireflies and teach them about bioluminescence. But that particular night, even though they were supposed to be there, there were no fireflies, and everybody was kind of disappointed. And so I pulled out my backup plan, which was stargazing and teaching about constellations, but the sky was too cloudy to see the stars that night. So both my plans weren't really working out, and so I kind of just had to improvise. And so I brought a blanket and just laid it on the ground, and I had all the kids just lay and like close their eyes and just listen to the sounds of nature at night, because you might hear something you've never heard before since you're usually not outside at night, you know? And I remember we were all laying there and we heard this super strange noise, like a high-pitched screeching. And so we were all like, oh my gosh, what is this? And we went and investigated. It was coming from a tree nearby. And it turns out that there was a whole family of screech owls in that tree. And it was so awesome to be able to see those and then start, having all these kids see those and experience them. And it was such an awesome experience. All the kids were so excited. And that night became one of the kids' favorite nature activities for the week that they were at camp. So it was really cool. And it was that moment where I could have given in and just accepted that nothing was going according to my plan, or come up with something entirely new and creative. And that's when we all had an amazing opportunity to experience something really exciting and new that none of us expected. So I'll remember that for a really, really long time. So my point in telling you this story and talking about this is just to say that change is inevitable, especially when talking about nature. And we can't always plan for things. Even though having plans in place is important, we can't always expect to have perfect plans because we don't know what's going to happen. And we can have backup plans, but those might not even work out either. And in my mind, just knowing about the uncertainty that's happening in the world and how we never know what's going to happen, it's just so much more of a motivator to protect and conserve and restore nature now so that we can mitigate the changes. And in the environment community especially, we need to learn to be adaptable and just be in the present moment and work with what we have in the moment. Kind of like me today and the wind and my crazy hair. So let's just embrace the uncertainty and the unexpected as much as we possibly can, and just work with the ebbs and flows and our totally intertwined life with nature.